Hey folks, welcome to Unit 1, Lesson 10. This is for Grade 10 Applied Math. Today we're going to look at how to solve word problems using our skills in solving equations. So here we have our first example. It says the equation modeling the water draining from a pool is y equals negative 0.42x plus 41, where y is the amount of water in inches and x is the amount of time in hours. So I'm going to kind of color code some stuff here. My y is the amount of water in inches, and my x is the amount of time in hours. Okay, so here it asks for part A, it says, how long will it take to drain the entire pool? Okay, so here I know that x is the amount of time and y is the amount of height of the pool. So if we're asked how long it will take to drain the pool, that means that the x, the amount of time, is my question mark. That's what I want to find. And that must mean that I know the height. If we drained the whole pool, what's the height of water that would be left? That's going to be a height of 0. So I'm going to use my equation. I'm going to write out my equation. Y equals negative 0.42 x plus 41. Now I know that the y, my height, is going to be 0. So 0 equals negative 0.42x plus 41. Now I'm going to solve this equation just like we did in the previous section. So I'm going to do opposite operations to get x by itself. So I've got a plus 41. I'm going to do minus 41 on both sides. So now I get negative 41 equals negative 0.42x. And I need to get x by itself. I'm going to divide by negative 0.42. So this one you'll for sure need to use your calculator. So I'm going to do negative 41 divided by negative 0.42. And I get about, this is rounded off, I'm going to put 97.6 hours. So the real trick here is knowing which number or what to put in each variable. So let's look at part B. Here we go. How long would it take before there's 16.5 inches left in the pool? So again, I really want to focus on what each variable means. I've got y, which is the amount of water in inches, and x, which is the time. So this says there's 16.5 inches. That's going to be my y. That's the amount of water left. So I'm going to put 16.5. And x, that's going to be a question mark. That's what I want to find. Oops. And this is going to go the same way as the other one did. We're going to write out our equation. Y equals negative 0.42x plus 41. And I'm going to put this 16.5. That's what my y is equal to. Then we're going to go through our steps, solve this equation just like when we solved the last one. So here, I'm going to, again, I have to get rid of the 41. So I'll do 16.5 minus 41, which gives me negative 24.5 equals negative 0.42x. Now I'm going to divide by negative 0.42. And that would round off to about 58.3. And that's going to be hours. So x equals 58.3 hours. Okay. The last one says, how many inches of water are there left in the pool after 14 hours? So remember that y is the amount of water and x is the amount of time in hours. So this is saying 14 hours. That tells me that that is my x. And now the y is my question mark. So you always really have to focus on the number that you're given. Is that going in for the first variable, like my y, the amount of water, or my x, the amount of time? Okay. So here we know y equals negative 0.42x plus 41. And x is 14. So this is going to be an easy one to solve. When I put in x equals 14, I'm just going to work this out with BEDMAS. I'm going to do negative 0.42 times 14, which is negative 5.88 plus 41. And we get 35.12, and don't forget your units, this is inches. So I hope these examples are helping you to kind of see which variable we put in where, and then the solving is just the same as what we've been doing. Got one more example. So here we have an equation, y equals 1.37x. And let's highlight our two variables. Y is the total cost of the gas, and x is the number of liters, so the amount of liters. So here this says how many liters, that's what we're looking for. And remember, my y was total cost. So this is my y. So we've got y is 20.29, and x says how many liters, so that's what I'm looking for. That's going to be my question mark. So again, we always go back to the equation we're given in the question. So it says y equals 1.37x, and I know my y is the cost, so that's what's going to go in this equation where the y is. So 20.29 equals 1.37x. Doing our dotted line down the middle from the equal sign, and then we'll go through our steps. This is just a pretty easy one-step equation. We're going to divide by 1.37 on each side. And of course, using our calculator, 20.29 divided by 1.37. So that's about 14.8. We need to include our units. X was the number of liters, so X is liters of gas. Okay, the next one, we're kind of given the opposite information. It says if he needed 30.01 liters, how much would it cost? So here, y is the cost. I don't know the cost. X is the number of liters. I do know that, 30.01. So now we're going to use our same initial equation, 1.37x. And my 30 is the liters, so it goes in where the x is. So here I get y equals 1.37 times 30.01. And on my calculator, I get $41.11. Okay, so again, really being careful to make sure you're putting the number in the correct place, but then these equations are actually pretty straightforward to solve.